a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The others' hushed voices were giving Harry an odd feeling of foreboding. It was as though they had just entered the house of a dying person. He heard a soft hissing noise, and then old-fashioned gas lamps sputtered to life all along the walls, casting a flickering, insubstantial light over the peeling wallpaper and threadbare carpet of a long, gloomy hallway, where a cobwebby chandelier glimmered overhead and age-blackened portraits hung crooked on the walls. Harry heard something scuttling behind the baseboard. Both the chandelier and the candelabra on a rickety table nearby were shaped like serpents. Welcome to the Restricted Section, a Harry Potter podcast that does not condone the views of J.K. Rowling and hates her. So, take that. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry, we did it for you. Here's what we're talking about this week. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 4, Number 12 Grimmauld Place. Ron and Hermione pretty much just get like a very rude awakening when Harry shows up at Grimmauld Place and then just starts screaming at them a lot. The chapter descriptions are pretty short and to the point at this point in the book, but don't worry, the chapters get much more complex as we progress. Welcome to the Restricted Section. Aren't you glad to be hearing my dulcet tones once more? My co-host today is the half-breed, the mutant, the freak, Haley. Say hello to the listeners, Haley.
Hello, listeners. I am a half-breed mutant and freak, and my name is Haley.
And I'm really, really excited. Our special guests today are joining us from the podcast Fangfiction, hosts Lucy and Zach. Say hello to the listeners, Lucy.
Hello.
Say hello to the listeners, Zach.
Oh, hello.
I usually do that to help our listeners differentiate voices, but you know,
but they're the same.
Difference there.
We both have quite deep Australian voices.
Yeah, was that Zach or Lucy just then?
You people all sound the same to me.
Yeah, they are from Australia. Well spotted, listener. They host the podcast Fangfiction. One or both of you, please tell us what that podcast is about, because I am sure our listeners will be interested.
We're just sadomasochists, so we decide to hurt ourselves as much as possible while having people listen to it.
Yeah, we have spent 6 months of the last year reading My Immortal, chapter by chapter. I read it to Zach, who has never read fan fiction before, in the attempt to convince him that fan fiction is amazing, and I picked the wrong fan fiction to do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's perfect.
So yes, we read bad fan fiction and make silly jokes about it.
How can you not?
I think we connected when the Restricted Section covered My Immortal.
Yeah.
And I was posting those My Immortal haikus,
Beautiful.
I think is exactly how we got connected.
Yeah.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, dumb, shitty internet jokes definitely make real friends.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So then Haley and I were driving home from the beach one day, and I was like, we're going to listen to this podcast. It's about My Immortal. And Haley's like, I hate podcasts. And I'm like, but it's about My Immortal. and she was like, oh, okay. And then also I was like, as a reminder, you are on a podcast and you're not allowed to go around saying you hate podcasts.
That's counterproductive.
Okay, well, I didn't bring it up this time, Tina, so...
So we were on our way home from the beach, and we were, that's like a tired energy. But we were like cackling listening to y'all's podcast. We were like, oh my God, they get it. Like, you know how when you listen to another podcast and you're like, wow, we're going to be friends with these people.
The energy is matched.
Yeah.
It was like the best possible chapter, too. I think it was the one where Dumbledore catches them fucking in the woods.
Oh.
That's my favorite chapter, my favorite episode of the podcast. Oh, what are you doing, you motherfuckers? Oh,
For years, my sisters and I have been saying that back and forth. What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers?
Yes, and I did definitely put that episode on for you, Haley, because I was like, this is
the one.
Yeah, that was a good choice. Well curated.
I was like, oh my god, she's gonna get bored. Like, I have like a grumpy teenager. I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna get her interested?
That's right. Hand her the iPad. Put on My Immortal content.
She's like, I'm sleepy from being at the beach.
That's right.
I've been out in the sun all day. I'm not meant for this.
That's right.
That was the day that both of our hats got blown off at the same time, and two different trucks had to
devastating.
stop for us. Right?
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God we were out in the country.
The only thing that can make this better is underage sex and professors catching them. Yeah. That's right.
That'll solve it.
That'll solve it.
So, Lucy, what is your Harry Potter history? When did you read the books? When did you watch the movies? What's up with that?
Yeah, I'm your classic millennial Harry Potter fan. My mum read the first 4 books to me, I reckon. And then I kind of started back at number 1, like, because then there was the break before book 5 came out.
Right.
And then, did the queued up at midnight to get the new books when they came out.
That's awesome.
When book 7 came out, I was invited to a birthday party that I didn't go to so I could finish reading it.
Oh my god.
That's fair, honestly. Back in those days, yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah. What idiot plans a birthday party that day?
Seriously.
Some people don't like to read, I've heard.
Yeah.
Read the cultural room at the very least.
That's right.
You're right. Yeah, and then loved the movies, loved all of Harry Potter up until all of the goodwill was destroyed.
Right, yes. Wow, love that.
What?
Yep.
What happened? Tell me about it.
Oh no, Zach, you've been living under a rock.
Yeah.
for
Just
years. I'm
stay
so
there.
sorry.
Stay under your rock.
Did J.K. Rowling do something problematic?
That's right. I love Robert Galbraith. Is her name? I can't remember.
She wrote a 1,000-page book about how she's not problematic.
That's always a good sign. Yeah.
I saw somebody who phrased the page count in that as 600 pages longer than Dune, and it's like I want to teach that. I want to teach that tweet in like a college level English class.
Yeah,
like
that's
I need
right.
you all to understand. Like it smacks you and then it reels back and it backhands you than Dune.
Oh no.
And then she applied the same writing philosophy to screenwriting. Entirely different genre.
I can't.
Can't do it.
Lucy, were you part of the original My Immortal release? Were you there in the trenches when it was being released?
Sort of. So I was exactly the age. I'm the same age as Tara, I'm quite sure. Unless
If we know.
we do have a thesis that Tara could be a 55-year-old man, but who will ever know? And I was like a teen emo who was very into Harry Potter and vampires. So I kind of knew about My Immortal
Okay, I gotcha.
and then didn't think about it for a very long time.
It's been making a bit of a resurgence, I guess, because of those Sarah Zed videos. Is that right?
I think that's part of it, and also there's just been a general resurgence of that era of everything.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, because also, a year ago, they put the Twilight movies on Netflix or whatever.
Also
Yeah.
that. So there's a lot of kids now who are just getting into nerd culture who are finding the archives of the
They're
internet.
hashtag throwback.
And then
yeah.
they're running into, old farts like us who are what do you mean you haven't seen Charlie the Unicorn, you little fucking weirdo? Well, sit down and watch this. This is a real meme.
I'm always here to gatekeep Charlie the Unicorn. No new fans. Only the hardest can survive.
Ah, they took my freaking kidney.
That's right. You don't know.
You have no idea what it's like to wait 18 minutes for that video to load so you can watch it for the 700th time.
Instant gratification, these
That's
kids.
right.
Didn't have to wait for their memes, didn't have to wait for their internet to load, didn't have to wait for Harry Potter
God.
books.
No wonder they're such fucking snowflakes.
That's right.
Oh my God. I remember having to wait for my dad to stop working so I could use the phone because he
Oh,
was like
man.
on the internet, but he never stopped working.
Dad, please, I need to watch Charlie the Unicorn.
28 times in a row because there's no other memes.
No, this is all we have.
Man, I didn't see any of this shit because I had parental controls
Oh.
until I went to college.
Boy, what a time.
My parents didn't have good enough computers to have parental controls.
Yeah.
AOL parental
Yeah, my
controls,
parents
baby.
were like, I need you to set this up for me. And I was like, gladly.
Of course.
Yeah, I was allowed to play games on the American Girl doll website, and I
Oof.
was allowed to play the games on Claire's.com, and that was about it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a
Did you
good-
play
Yeah.
Diva Stars? I loved Diva Stars.
Oh, I don't remember that one, but I did play Neopets.
That was like a dress-up game.
Oh, I did play a couple of those dress-up games, so maybe it was that one.
Yeah.
Lucy, what Hogwarts house are you?
I'm a Gryffindor. I have
Okay.
part of being an adult for me is embracing my extreme main character energy.
Lovely.
And a big part of that was transitioning from pretending to be a Hufflepuff to admitting that I'm a Gryffindor.
Oh.
So you've had the exact opposite journey as Tina.
Oh. And finally they meet.
Oh my God, we're living opposite lives. Oh my God. No, you forgot the era where I was in high school and I was like, well, obviously I'm a Ravenclaw because
Yeah.
I'm brilliant. But what I didn't
Yeah.
know is I was actually just a Slytherin, aka incredibly self-centered. And then
I feel like a lot of Slytherins think that they're Ravenclaws.
yes, exactly. And then my adulthood has been like, we could be a little bit more Hufflepuff about this, babe. And now that's who I am. So, Zach, what is your Harry Potter history?
Yeah.
When did you read the books? When did you watch the movies?
Well, I had a very similar childhood to Lucy. My mum read me the first four. I reckon four was when I started reading them like with her. So Order of the Phoenix was a big deal. I reckon that was the first one I bought myself, which was very exciting. I loved them. I loved the movies. Went to the midnight releases, things like that. And then when I got to university, so that was like 17, 18, I met all these other people that were super into Harry Potter, and I was like, oh, I'm not a big enough fan. And I was like, and I just stopped. I was like, I gate-kept myself. I was like,
You gate-kept
that's
yourself.
right. I was like, it was right before Pottermore hit. I reckon it was right around then. Because people were like, oh, have you signed up to Pottermore? I was like, no, but I still love Harry Potter. And they're like, shut up, dickhead.
Fake fan.
That's
You
Oh,
right.
could Potter more. You
Oh,
know?
shit. See?
Nice.
I'm getting flashbacks
you-
like Nam. That's it. Like,
Are you a prep or a poser
Yeah,
that you're
there
not
it is.
using Pottermore? All
Forever.
of the gothic kids use Pottermore.
only goths use Pottermore. That's it. Yeah, so that's when I fell out of love. But that was, I think, safe because then all the turf stuff happened. So I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, congrats.
Yeah, no,
Congrats to you.
it was the right time. It was the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry for dragging you back onto this sinking ship.
That's right. It's
Zach
Lucy's fault,
messaged
to be
me
honest.
at like in the middle of the night last night being like, I don't want to read this.
No, it's really bad. Like, and this book is, in my opinion, the worst. And the beginning of it is the longest, which
Oh
is
my
awful.
God.
That's an awful way to write a book.
Yeah.
And this chapter is bullshit, and I'm so sorry.
I was like, I'm gonna like really do my homework. I'm gonna start at the beginning of this book and I'm gonna read to the end of chapter 4. And then I was like, no, I'm just gonna skip to chapter 4.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. I wish I could skip to chapter 4. I'm worried I'm like complaining too much about this book. Like, I know we have listeners who like it.
know.
Okay, so tell me, DM me on whatever social media. Tell me if it's endearing or obnoxious that I keep
That's
complaining
right.
about
Flamers.
Order of the Phoenix.
Flamers be flaming. That's right. Yeah.
I will not release another episode until I get 4 good reviews.
So we're on to season 2 of Fangfiction now, and we're reading Forbidden Fruit, The Temptation of Edward Cullen. And there's an author's note at the beginning of one of the chapters that's like, don't flame, guys, there's no point. Which is my attitude now. Whenever I get a DM
Yeah.
from a listener, I'm like, there's no point.
There's no point.
There's no point.
No point.
Just be zen. No
Don't
flaming.
even try. Zach, what Hogwarts house are you?
Oh, I just don't know. It's one of those. I think because I've rallied so hard against being a Harry Potter fan now. I'm like, I refuse to put myself in a house.
I'm
but probably
ruining Zach's
Ravenclaw.
life.
I'm pretty amazing.
Lucy, what do you think Zach is?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's a
a
good
good
idea.
question.
Yeah, what are you going to pick, huh?
Well, you're too cowardly to be a Gryffindor.
Wow. Okay. No
You're
worries.
too dumb to be a Ravenclaw.
Wow,
You're not
okay.
nice enough to be a
Sure.
Hufflepuff.
Hey, cool. No worries. Wow.
Maybe you go to Inverness.
So you're saying
I don't know. This is kind of a Hufflepuff reaction.
that's right? Wow.
Yeah, no, he's
Wow.
definitely a Hufflepuff.
You know our
Zach
podcast
is
makes
100%
two
a
hosts.
Hufflepuff.
Welcome to Hufflepuff. Here's your muffin. Here's your hat.
Here's your muffle puff.
Hi.
Yeah. That's right.
A muffle. That's gonna be my OnlyFans.
And you just ask questions like, "What Hogwarts house are you in?" and eat cake. That's it.
That would go off.
Oh boy, I would.
I think
pay.
you've hit your $1 million idea there, Zach.
Congratulations.
You could play the schoolgirl angle with like
Oh, yeah.
like socks.
That's right.
The schoolgirl angle creeps me
Oh
out.
god. Especially if it was a Hogwarts school outfit too.
Hogwarts
That's
school,
it just gets worse and worse and worse.
I'm at Hogwarts College.
There are slutty Hogwarts uniforms out
Yeah.
there. I've seen them.
Oh, I bet.
Awful.
Slutty Dobby outfits out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dobby's just a slut.
Oh,
you know,
fucking!
there's nothing we can
Have
do
you,
about
have you
it.
seen? Have you seen those gams? My god!
I just want to reiterate to our listeners and all our future guests, when I say what Hogwarts house are you in, we've gotten a lot of different answers. We've gotten some serious answers of people who are confident. We've gotten some cusp answers. I'm part this, part this. We had one guest who made up a brand new house
wow.
to suit their needs. And we've had more than one guest, including you, Zach, more than one, say, I don't fucking know or I don't fucking care. And that's valid. That's valid.
Yep.
You don't have to know or care.
Good.
I don't care either.
Fantastic. I'm in Mufflepuff now.
Welcome to Mufflepuff. So we are here today to talk about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 4, Number 12, Grimmauld Place. Haley, will you please say the name of the road?
Grimmauld Place.
Okay, Lucy, will you please say the name of the road?
Grimmauld Place.
Okay, Zach, can you hit me with how do you say the name of the road?
A Grimmauld.
Oh, okay, all right. Something about this word is just like wrong to me.
No, it's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Lucy says it sounds like, and I know that this is supposed to be the pun. It sounds like Grimold. Like, oh, it's a Grimold.
Oh my god,
place.
yeah, that is the point, isn't it?
Oh right. Sure. Yeah. No. J.K. knew what she was doing.
Like every name of every place in these books is a pun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, including the really cute pun about Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Oh, fuck me.
I will never stop complaining about Kingsley Shacklebold's last name.
Oh my god.
God, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up. 'cause
Me either.
Up
Sorry.
until then, I was just like, no, it's metal. It's a metal name. Like Shackle Bolt. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you, that's still the same page I'm on. That sounds sick.
It's bad. If it's not pulling up imagery of like American chattel slavery, it's bringing up imagery of like
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool. I was about to be like, no, that's my Hogwarts house. It's Shacklebolt. But never mind.
well, even if we skip the slavery reading, we can go to the like incarcerated people performing
Yeah.
hard labor angle. Like there's no angle. It's not good.
Wow.
It's not good at all.
Layers. JK's so clever.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
She is just such a sneaky little cunt.
Oh, I'm so glad we can
Yeah.
say cunt on this podcast. I was like, oh, Americans are funny about that word. Australians use it a lot.
It's fine. Not on this show.
I was nervous I would accidentally drop a C-bomb and
Well,
upset
thank
you.
goodness.
The problem is that I say the word bitch so much that it carries no meaning
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So if I really want to say something about J.K. Rowling should be under the word cunt in the dictionary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
like it should be J.K. Rowling, sneaky little cunt. Like that's her epitaph. That's what we put on the headstone at the end.
When you go to her LinkedIn, that's like what it says.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm a writer. I'm in the movies. I'm a sneaky little cunt. Like that's yeah. A very professional photo on the side.
You know how like sometimes in movies characters will like see red and it's like literally and it's like it makes like murder noises and it like
Yeah.
zooms in and it's like red. That's what happens when I see that bitch's face. I'm just
So
like,
fucking true.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think I said this in Fangfiction once, but it's like, I can't believe the level of goodwill that she's managed to lose. It's like, it's
Yeah.
unprecedented in pop culture history.
I mean, it's a complete about turn.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't know if this was a thing on your side of the planet, but when we were growing up, there was like a very common thing, like especially around where we grew up, like the American South, where a lot of families wouldn't let their kids read Harry Potter because something the devil. So, like, I had a lot of friends who, like, weren't allowed to interact with the stories. And, like, she was so against that kind of, like, person, and, like, they were so against her that it's like, what the fuck happened?
How are you now on the
Why
same
are you
team?
fucking... Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a...
What are you getting out of this?
Yeah. It's like a classic. It's like a person got famous in a certain era, so their level of progress stopped. And so they're like, I don't have to learn anymore. And then life kept progressing, and now they can't deal with the world that they're in. Like it's just they got stuck. They got too rich.
Yep. You can almost like pinpoint the day she lost touch.
Yeah.
Legit.
Truly.
I feel like you can read it in this book. The point at which she became too famous. And she was like not listening to her editors anymore. And she was just like, I'm too big to fail. And so she wrote an 8,000 word book in which very little happens.
I'm pretty sure this is the third chapter in a row, and I'll remind you, we're only on chapter 4 that I think could have been edited out.
Right. Oh my God.
Just could have been edited out.
I totally disagree. Everything is perfectly important, as we're about to find out.
If anything, I want more of it.
Twice as long.
The only good and important thing in this chapter is that either Fred or George, I forget, drops his dulcet tones line, which is a phrase
Yes.
that I have used for the past 15 years
So
of
true.
my life.
Absolutely.
See?
Dulcet tones.
Yeah.
I found a few other points to just subtly enjoy about this chapter. I'll agree that it's not like strictly a lot of the important material in here could have just been worked into dinner in the next chapter, but it's
Dinner.
There's a couple of moments.
Y'all know that we picked the right guest where we don't even get to the very first sentence of the chapter until 25 minutes.
Sorry.
It gives your listeners a taste of what Fangfiction is like.
We must start the chapter. I'm taking
Right.
control. At the end of the last, so we must actually back up for a second. At the end of the last chapter, Harry got given this piece of paper that said the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix is at number 12 Grimmauld Place. Okay, now it's this chapter. So Harry's like, "What's the Order of the Phoenix?" And Lupin's like, "Shut up."
Oh no, Moody's like, "Shut up,"
Moody.
which is much
Yeah,
more
it's
violent.
terrifying.
It is Moody.
Yeah.
Moody promptly burns the message, and Lupin is like, "Think about what you just read." Like a very patient, kind teacher who maybe should have stayed
The
employed.
one and only effective teacher Hogwarts has ever had.
Yeah.
Truly. Except maybe McGonagall.
Yeah, I will.
McGonagall.
I will accept McGonagall.
But nobody enjoys her classes.
No.
That's like a difference.
But they
I
do
think.
learn Transfiguration, which is ostensibly the point.
She leaves them no alternative.
Yeah. No.
So as soon as Harry thinks about what he's memorized, a house emerges between 11 and 13 Grimmauld Place, even though, at least in America, that's not how addresses work.
No.
Is that how address?
No, it sure
okay, so
doesn't.
no. Okay.
Even if there's nothing on the other side of the road, it still wouldn't be 11, 12, 13.
Yes, right. So maybe, well, no, it doesn't. I was like, maybe they invented a house to go in between 12 and 13, but then there would still just be another 12 Grimmauld Place across the street, you know?
And there's this
Yeah.
whole thing
It's like-
about the local muggles have always found it as this charming error in the street. It's like every street is like that.
Silly muggles. So dumb. What a lower class citizen.
For real, though. There's this whole ass new house there. They enter the house.
Whoa.
Did I skip something?
No, it's so exciting.
We're going in.
There's a bunch of locks unclicking. We're hearing a bunch of locks going undone.
Must be magic stuff.
Haley.
You're very welcome.
Can I just
Sounds really magic.
say the lengths that they go to not be noticed are significantly more conspicuous than just walking into a house. Like growing a house out of nowhere, removing all the lights from the street lamps, and then putting them back in is
Yeah. No, what you have to understand, every time we encounter a moment like this, because it's every moment that wizards are trying to be covert, whenever we encounter this and think, why the fuck would they do it like this? Why the fuck? This is not in any way the most efficient way to do anything. There's a very simple explanation, which is that wizards are all about the drama. That's
100%.
their only
True.
priority. It's their only priority.
It's all about presentation, baby.
Yeah, it is.
So they enter the house. Dun-na-na. It's dark and it's dank and not like cool weed dank, but like underground cave dank.
Like dark wizard
That's
Nazi
also
dank.
cool.
Yes.
I mean, caves, not dark wizard Nazis.
Sure.
Caves are also cool. I like geology.
Oh, see, I love dark wizard Nazis, but that's my Hogwarts house.
Well, then this is the perfect time for you to be getting back into
How
Harry
dare
Potter.
you? That's right.
So it's like a haunted house, but like not a fun haunted house, like a haunting of Hill House, like a real haunted house, because it's creepy in there, and then like everyone's whispering, and no one will explain why. They're like, "Calm down, everything's going to be fine. If you could just come with me."
What was that? What?
Why are we whispering?
That would be me.
Yeah.
In this situation, I'd be like, "Hey, oh my God, Mrs. Weasley!" Like, are you guys screamers? Would you be screaming like me?
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, give me
I
a
would-
hug. I've been alone for a month. I haven't had anyone to talk to. I missed you all so much.
I feel like this opening paragraph shows me just how much I couldn't survive in the wizarding world. It'd just be so fucking stressful all the time. Like this guy's like, here's a piece of paper. And I'm like, oh great. Oh, it's on fire. Okay. Oh my God, there's a house. There's heads on the wall. Oh my God. Just kill me. Just kill me. Send me back.
Let it end. Send me back to Proving
Yes,
Drive.
like absolutely.
I'll take child abuse
Like,
over this.
I get creeped out at the thought of staying at my husband's grandmother's house, and she is a perfectly normal, pretty old person. Like this, I could never ever sleep here. Like, there's no part of this house where I can comfortably put my head down and rest. Like, I'm not touching anything.
No, because you'll never come
You can
back.
sleep here.
One of the only sane moments in this whole book series is in book 7 when the trio sleep there for the first time. They all sleep in the same room, like on the floor in the lounge room, because they're so terrified. And it's like meant to be they're so terrified of the Death Eaters, but it's like, no, it's this fucking house. It's the scariest house ever.
One time, my two best friends and I stayed in this ranch house in Colorado, and we live in the middle of the city, so a ranch house was extremely alarming to us. There was a lot of wind, and we just knew that right outside the window there was mountains, and that alarmed us a lot. And maybe it was haunted. There was like old Western gold towns over there, and I was just alarmed. So we all slept there, big house, all slept in the same bed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We couldn't sleep in the room with the mirror in it. What if the mirror does some weird light stuff in the middle of the night?
Absolutely. No, that's
You never
fucking
know.
terrifying.
We had to buckle down.
Yeah, none of that.
We came here for a relaxing holiday with the mountain air, and we just have to fucking get through it till we can get back to the city.
I mean, I've slept in similar conditions to this. It's not that bad.
Haley, You would. Your apartment is like a vintage shop already.
Yeah, I'm halfway there. So, I've slept in like lean-tos that had kind of like bunks, like no cushions, but like just bunks in the Cascade Mountains, and like just random like weird old Depression era cabins out in like Prince Will. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So this is your place that JK is describing right now.
Honestly, a little bit. This reminded me, like this whole chapter reminded me of a recent family reunion at the ancestral home of my mother's side of the family. That's
was that when you were texting me, Christina? There's so many wonderful hats here, etc.
Yeah,
you texted me something.
No, it was
like
lamps. There were a lot of wonderful lamps. The house was just full of like 5 generations of my family at least have like just this old house.
Yeah,
and like we were all kind of going through it. Like, long story short, we were kind of inheriting stuff. But like it's the whole house, so we were doing like a rummage and like calling dibs on things.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the house wasn't like, it's not gross like this, but I can see it happening. I went up to the attic. I can see that trajectory.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, instead of the heads of house elves on the walls, you just had lots of lamps. That's nice.
It like a lot of lamps and like old watercolor paintings of the Delaware River.
Sure, and there's people in them and they move. Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my god, imagine having a cute little painting of cute little George Washington crossing a cute little Delaware River.
Oh, beautiful. That sounds very American. I definitely get the reference.
It is extremely American. Lots of terrible white people in our history.
What?
Pretty much all of them.
We can't relate to that.
I'm sure you can.
There's a book about George Washington called You Never Forget Your First, because he was our first president, and that's like kind of the energy I feel about him. I'm like,
in a lot of ways,
George.
Didn't we all lose our virginity to George Washington?
Oh, daddy, the daddy of the country.
That's right.
He was hot back then, allegedly. Yeah. That's what we learned in history here in America.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
gosh.
That's the standard.
I love dead presidents. He wasn't a president, was he?
Yeah, you never forget your first, Zach. Were you fucking listening?
I'm not. I hate Harry Potter.
That's fine. I hate podcasts.
We are so barely talking about Harry Potter right now. We're doing a pretty good job.
That's right.
We're on page 2.
Wait, really quick. I know that we've been really on topic thus far, so I just have a quick interjection. Perfect. Lucy, Zach, I told my friend Charlie I was recording with you, and they said, tell them I love their
amazing. Well, Charlie.
We love the fans.
We love you. Leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe. No flaming. Okay, if you flame, we'll find you.
While we're talking about it, hey, Charlie, give me a
That's You know what, Charlie?
I bet you have
Pull your fucking finger out.
5 stars, all right?
Support your friends.
Charlie is a very supportive friend. Okay, I bet you haven't done that review, Charlie.
That's right. We love you, Charlie.
We're in the hallway still.
Yeah. Enter Mrs. Weasley.
Mrs. Weasley enters the hallway and comes to say hi. She's whispering. She looks thin and pale.
Oh no.
That's not like normal for her.
No.
It's like there's a war on.
And you just fucking know she's preparing every single meal for every single man in this fucking house.
Yes.
She is like saddled with 100% of the emotional and domestic labor of the Order of the Phoenix.
I never even thought of it that way.
Yep.
Yeah, she carries the entire series.
She's like the only mother figure
for
every character.
Conspicuously.
It doesn't seem like she's teaching all these 15 and 16-year-olds like how to cook.
No, she is a little bit like, get out of my face, like go upstairs and clean one of the rooms. And they're obviously cleaning like 15-year-olds because all of this creepy shit is still in the house. They're not getting rid of any of it.
Yeah.
Go play with the haunted toys, children.
That's right.
So Mrs. Weasley is like, the meeting has started, and Harry's like, that sounds like it's for me. And Mrs. Weasley's like, hard no. You must go away.
Don't be stupid.
It's so funny how like Harry's always like, oh, like let me like be the hero of the story. And now reading it as an adult, I'm like, Mrs. Weasley's the only person who is like looking at this child and seeing a child and being like, it's true. Keep this child safe.
So she takes him up to his room and then is like, bye, I have to go to the meeting. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
What's the meeting about? We'll find out.
So finally, 62 pages into the book, Harry gets a hug from a friend, and he's been needing it.
Yeah. Nice. What happens next? I'm too used to fan fiction now. It's like, yeah.
LOL, then what?
Yeah, what do you do? What if I was there?
You would be like, I gotta go, because Harry starts screaming almost immediately.
God.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
So he's talking to Hermione and Ron, and Hedwig comes too at some point, and Hermione's like saying a lot of things. She's like,
She's a nervous
She's
talker.
just word
she's
vomit.
a nervous talk,
Yeah.
which like big same.
100%.
Oh my god, like big same.
And also, like, it's all the things she hasn't been allowed to say and tell him for a month.
Yeah.
She's trying to tell him all at once. Then he's like, why won't you tell me
Yeah.
anything? And she's like, I'm fucking trying.
She's like, I have so many facts. I have so many
Oh
facts.
my god.
Yeah,
I wrote a book.
I've been wanting to dish. Oh, but Hedwig has pecked Ron and Hermione like half to death trying to get answers
Yeah,
for
nice.
Harry. So she's
Harry
the
has
only
set
bitch.
an animal upon his friends and left
bird of
wounds
prey.
on their body.
A bird of prey.
Do you not do that with your friends? Is that not?
My husband and I were walking in the park next to our house today, and there were like 50 hawks, falcons. Which one? Hawks.
It's horrifying.
All circling. There were like so many,
Oh, yeah.
like way more than I've ever seen in one place.
No, there's like
at the same time.
There's like at least one red-tailed hawk that like lives near you. Like I saw it a month ago,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like eating
Samuel.
something in the median.
Samuel.
The red-tailed hawk that lives near Christina.
That's adorable. I'm gonna write a book about it now. Great,
Right.
Haley. Look what you did.
And he's going to be a wizard, but he gets abused often.
A bespectacled boy wizard.
Sorry? What was that?
Sorry. I really struggled to get that line out.
Wait, but bespectable is hilarious because
Bespectable.
instead of saying like I have bad vision, you just say I'm bespectable.
Have some bespect. That's...
Would you like some bespectacles? I didn't realize you wore worms on your face.
I do have a quote from Haley somewhere on the 200 episodes we've recorded of this podcast. I'm being dramatic. It's probably like 130. But somewhere in that, Haley, you have said,
Side note, if you're someone who at any point, particularly in your old age, starts thinking about like, maybe I'm going to write a children's book, there's more to it than watching a nature documentary about an interesting animal and just coming up with a story where it lives in your hometown for no reason. That's just a thing that I feel like everyone should be aware of.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
We got to cut you off. You don't need to.
we both work in children's books and we do get that concept a lot.
Yeah, here's the one thing that I will say is that red-tailed hawks are in fact native to Virginia, and it's usually like someone saw a documentary about like an exotic animal, and they're like, what if there was an ostrich in my backyard in Kansas?
Oh,
Whoa!
I see.
That's crazy. That's so
Yeah.
wacky.
Right?
So ours is more valid because it's correct.
yeah. An ostrich in the Ozarks. That book doesn't exist, but someone's gonna write
Yeah,
it.
now that
Wait,
you've said
that's
it.
not bad because like they could get through the swampland easier because of their long legs. So that's like not bad.
Oh, so we should bring ostriches to the Ozarks. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, okay, perfect.
I'm gonna get in touch with an ornithologist about
Yeah,
this.
perfect.
Damn it. This is what happens. This is how it starts.
And by the end, you'll be writing children's books.
Harry is like, wow. For one split second, I was happy to see you, but now I'm just intensely disappointed in the both of you.
Yeah. I'll say this, like, the ramp up to Harry yelling is one of the things that I like about this chapter,
Yeah.
because, like, this is the first book, and it's not done, like, overtly, and I kind of wish it was, but this is the first book that starts acknowledging, like, Harry has lived a fucked up life, and he's starting to realize that.
Yeah.
You know, when you were 15 and started being like, maybe some of that shit wasn't normal.
Other kids
from
Yes,
my
oh
life.
my
didn't
God.
live like
And, like,
this.
Yeah. So there's like one paragraph where it's like, so how come I have to stay at the Dursleys while you two get to join in everything that's going on here? And the words are like tumbling out. Like, how come you're allowed to know everything? And it's like that moment right there. It's like, oh, someone's just realized he's been abused.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I will say, for me, the big redeeming moment in this book is the scene at the end when Harry just lets Dumbledore fucking have it and like destroys everything in his office. It's so cathartic and it's so like,
oh yeah,
that's the moment.
Haley and I have big plans for that episode.
Oh no, we've got big plans for a couple episodes later.
So much exciting stuff happens, we swear. Like, subscribe.
This is Trauma the book. It does a good job with that.
Harry Potter and the irreversible trauma.
True.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That
yeah,
really
that's
could
the
be
most accurate title I've heard so
That
far.
could be the tagline of this one, because like it's in the space of like half a page, Harry brings up like it's not like I've been locked up or whatever. It's I've been with the Dursleys. Like do you realize that like I've tasted the love of a family now, and now like I have to go back and like realize exactly how much my life sucks with these fucking people that I hate deeply.
That's kind of okay. So when I was 15, that's when I was like definitely for sure starting to realize that I lived in like a terribly privileged and I spent a lot of time sitting in my bathtub being depressed because it was like a statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I need to have something wrong with me, so I'm going to be depressed.
I'm languishing in
right.
protest of my privilege.
I'm gonna go lay in a pond.
Exactly. I feel like Harry like would, you know.
If he thought he could take the tub for that long.
Obviously, Harry has to go home to his abusers, and this is like not comparable. But like when I was a kid, I would like go to school and be with people who like kind of got it, and then I would have to go home, and it was like so fake and weird. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, you guys don't even like know. Oh, you guys don't even know.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
like
And that's what angst
That's
is.
right.
Like
Absolutely.
he really. Yeah, I think everyone goes through that period around this time in their life. Like, that's when it starts. But, like, the degree of severity is how fucked up actually your childhood has been and, like, how you feel about it.
Yeah. I do have compassion for all caps lock Harry as much as I'm
Yeah,
like
'cause
tearing
this
my
is-
eyes.
Oh yeah.
No, like, this is the moment where it's all kind of coming together. Like, you know what? I think that Dumbledore actually does have the power to not make me stay there.
Yeah.
And I really fucking resent that I have to
Yeah.
every fucking year. And these people keep getting worse and worse, and I can't do anything about it. And I really, really hate it.
It is unforgivable.
Yeah.
Dumbledore keeps sending him back.
Oh my god, do literally anything to prevent sending a child to their abusers.
Send him back for one day.
You're magic.
Or,
Damn it.
like, keep him at Hogwarts. They keep
Yes.
saying it's the safest place in the Wizarding World.
Oh, but we
Let
have
him
to
stay.
clean it.
Yes.
Sorry, we close the school. There is do you know how much residue magic leaves? It is disgusting. That place is 90% mold. It's not a safe place for 3 months of the year.
The only janitor in the building is the one guy who can't do
That's
magic.
right. And they're just like
How fucked up is that?
they lock the doors. They leave Filch there for a few months, and like no wonder he's so furious. I think it was the first episode you guys were talking about squibs and how Filch is so angry all the time, and it's like, yeah, fair enough. Okay, it's just him and the cat.
No, for sure.
No,
He's
Filch
maybe
is
the only
valid.
character
Filch is
in the
valid.
series that gets a shorter end of the stick than Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Sirius is also on that list.
Yes.
yeah.
We'll get into it.
Wait, Sirius is in this book. I hope he has a good time. I hope everything works out for him.
He has the best time.
he's pretty close to
It works
Harry,
out
right?
So well. For
Harry
him.
relies on
Yeah.
him pretty emotionally,
Yeah.
right? So I wouldn't want anything bad to happen.
Oh yeah,
to
yeah. No, it's you might almost say a father figure. The
Yeah,
only
yeah,
one that he
yeah.
has anyway.
That's right.
So,
A really bad father figure. Okay. Here's the thing about Caps Lock Harry that makes me sad. You know that after he's done screaming, his throat hurts.
Yeah, poor Harry.
You know when you like accidentally yell a little too
overdid
much,
it.
and then you're like, "Oh fuck, that hurt."
You know when you're typing in all caps and you're like, oh my god, ow.
I think the most unrealistic part of this scene is that like he's a 15-year-old boy, and at no point in yelling at his friends after barely talking to anyone for over a month, his voice does not crack.
True. But he's strong and powerful.
I suppose
you know what
you've been
does?
having a real laugh, haven't you? We're together. Stop laughing, guys. I'm serious.
serious
Voldemort's
now.
back.
Wow. You're really bringing back my 15-year-old time. I don't like it. Stop. I'm a really big Harry Potter fan, I swear.
Okay, so speaking of your voice cracking, crack. Fred and George apparate into the room.
nice.
You like
Yeah,
that
that was
one?
good.
And
Well
all the
done.
tension just like melts away from my body.
I know.
When I
Well, you
see them
can't-
arrive.
You cannot be yelling with
No,
the
you
twins.
cannot.
They do not permit it.
No, they're not going to take it seriously. They're already not taking
No,
it
that's
seriously.
right.
We heard your dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones.
So good.
There it
Dulcet
is.
tones. I really do say that so much.
Yep, same.
It's a beautiful thing.
They're talking about how they've been trying to listen in on the Order of the Phoenix meetings using their extendable ears invention. Sorry, I'm drinking seltzer.
That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's if it's really good, I leave it in the podcast,
Yeah.
but if it's kind of weak, I take it out. They've been using these extendable ears, and they're just like flesh colored,
I know.
like
I
ropes.
love like the
It's
strutting.
like kind of gross. I mean, it's like genius, but it's
Well,
kind of gross.
I mean, don't you remember like the '90s? Those sticky hand things. I think they're still around.
Yeah.
I feel
Ew,
like
those
that's
are
what it's
awful.
like. I bet
Ugh.
they smell the same too. Remember how
So
they
much.
smell?
And they get like
So much,
covered in
lint
grime.
and dust and dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just immediately accumulate like a fine layer of little carpet fibers.
Disgusting. Oh my god. Wait, I'm having like a traumatic sense memory right now.
This is
Bad.
this was JK's foray into body horror. It was just like extendable ears covered in bits of dust and glass.
I feel like that's on par with those like oh my god, there's no do you guys remember those toys? And it's just like a cute little sack of water.
Oh,
So,
the
like,
water-
all you
Yeah, all you
water
can do is
all you
wank
can
your
do is
hand.
masturbate it.
Yeah. All you could do was wank. Again, thinking about being 15 again. Voice breaking, jerking off.
I went to this special high school like my last 2 years, where it was like for kids with like weird brains,
Love
just
it.
unspecified weird brain disease, and they had shoe boxes full of like fidgets.
Oh yeah.
So like this was before
I was
fidget
about to say,
spinners
that's
because I'm
quite
old. So it
advanced.
was like. Yeah, so there were like little metal puzzle things and like Rubik's cubes and those like squishy doodads. So we would just be sitting there in math class like,
Fucking,
oh yeah, 32.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very good at maths.
Oh right, this is audio format. So like I just imagine that I'm very casually staring into space and like doing a jerk, like a lazy limp-wristed
Yeah,
jerk
yeah.
motion.
And then
It's
occasionally
kind
it would
of
like fly out of your head. You're like, shit.
Again, this all sounds very familiar, but I don't know the toy.
Did it ever happen?
Can't control it.
My mom wouldn't let me buy one at the Rainforest Cafe one time when I was probably like 8, so I should have known better. But
What a
like that was
bitch.
the day where I was like, "Oh, I get it. I'm not a baby anymore. You expect me to not play with masturbation toys."
No, she's like, no, you have to wait just a few more years, and then you can have these. It's a line.
Enter Ginny, which shout out to our friend Taylor's cute, adorable dog, Ginny.
Aw.
She
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like a cloud,
Taylor's dog.
a red cloud. No, that's a great dog. Maybe I'll put a picture in the show notes if Taylor lets me, because this dog is great and her name's
Please.
Ginny. Oh, I forgot that I asked Taylor like 3 months ago if I could put a picture of her on her Instagram, and then I never did. Taylor,
Well,
please remind me.
This is the reminder.
I want to put a
You
picture.
better be listening.
Yeah, this is a test. We used to do that a lot. That's not fun.
That's how you know who the real friends are. We always talk about like my partner doesn't listen to our podcast. So it's like,
Yeah, my husband super does.
Yeah,
not
my
listen
husband's
to this
heaps
unless
far
I make
behind on
him.
Fangfiction.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, this is great work. Like the My Immortal episode, I was like, this is great, and you have to listen.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he-
like that one is genuinely funny. So, this
stuff like this.
Through all this
Stuff like this.
bullshit.
I'm sick of it. It's what a waste of my time.
oh, but we're only halfway through the chapter.
Oh no.
I love Ginny's entrance here. I love. Oh, hey Harry, whatever.
Like, these 4 pages, where it's, like, from the twins showing up to, like, the meeting ending, is, like, it has the vibe of a really big, it reminds me, like, even more than the house of, like, the big family reunion with, like, all of the extended family. Because if you come from that kind of family where people will, like, come from points beyond and, like, you're acquainted with your 2nd and 4th cousins and shit. Like, this is kind of how it feels. Like, family reunions are usually, like, a weekend to 2-week affair. And, like, there's always one contingent of cousins who have grown up closer to each other than everybody else. So, like, everyone's meeting up and getting all of the family drama at once. But, like, quietly in a whisper while all the parents are away.
Now that I'm an old regular adult, I get way too much family drama. And I'm like, please consider me to be your child and not privy to this information.
Yeah.
Somewhere between, I want the good tea, but I don't need
That's
everything.
right. Yeah, it's the highlights, thanks. I don't want to fix your problems.
Yeah, no, I don't want, like, the blow-by-blow as it's happening. I want, like, the recap once it's over, you know?
Yes,
Just tell me when you are divorced, and that's okay. Yeah.
Right, yes. So, Ginny, this is, like, the first book, I think, where Ginny gets a proper personality, and I love that for her.
Yeah.
She has, like, the perfect little attitude throughout this whole book.
Yeah.
Like, it's all very sharp and, like flirty bantery in a way where it's like, that's just who she is. She's not even flirting. You know what I mean? Like, she's got it.
She's focusing on her right now, and I love that for her.
Yeah.
She comes in and she's like, I already figured it out. We can't eavesdrop. I've been throwing dunk bombs at the door for 10 minutes.
Like, Tonks gave me the fucking DL on this shit. I know exactly how to game the system.
That's right. Well, you fuckers are up here.
Molly has cast an imperturbable charm on the door. Very convenient little charm if you wish not to be.
Yeah.
So the kids are just like chit-chatting. I don't know. They're like, oh, Snape's here, and like Bill is also here.
He's like
and,
dating.
He's dating Fleur Delacour.
Oh, she's French. She has an accent.
Yeah,
And we have to read it out.
Like this.
Jeez.
Like this.
Oh, woo, woo.
Her
She is
English.
improving her English.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
So then Harry's like, what about Percy? And everyone's like, yikes. Oh, you can't actually say his name in our home anymore. Basically, Percy was offered a big promotion at the Ministry of Magic for no good reason.
Oh, cool.
He's like, why promote him? And so him and his dad, Arthur Weasley, had a huge row, crushed it, about it because Fudge is trying to prevent people from siding with Dumbledore, basically. So he's trying to get Percy Weasley on his team so that he can have an in with the Weasleys, who are like obviously big Dumbledore loyalists.
Yeah.
And they got into a big fight, and Percy said a bunch of shitty things about his family. And even if you don't like your family, you don't have to stand in their face and scream shitty things.
Yeah. Percy.
Bitch.
Especially Arthur Weasley.
Yeah, I do have to say, though, reading it this time, it was, like, glaringly obvious to me the, like, failures as a parent that kind of went on to lead to this row. You know, we know from seeing Ron that being part of this huge family of lots of high achievers causes a lot of insecurity in the middle children.
Obviously, yeah.
So Percy's like gone to his dad being like, guess what? I got this huge promotion, like, blah, blah, blah. And then Arthur's like, they've only given it to you to spy on me. And it's like, even if that's true, like,
Yeah. No,
maybe
Percy.
you tell
That
your son
hurts.
you're proud of him first.
Yeah, I like in total fairness to Arthur, like part of why this is weird is that like how badly Percy fucked up last year because of what he's like as a person specifically. Like that was why that happened.
Yeah.
And like so there are like aspects of this where it's like, yeah, I'm sure you didn't get like a whole lot of attention despite trying really, really hard because you're in this really big family, and I'm sure that like your father being an idealist is very inconvenient for you as a very ambitious, conventional person.
Hard to
But
be
also, it's
ambitious in a
Arthur
society
fucking
that has
Weasley.
3 jobs. Very hard to be
Yeah.
ambitious.
Also, how did
True.
how did you not notice? Honestly, how that your boss was being mind controlled and then not even was there anymore? Like you were
Do you
taking
think
orders.
you would notice, Haley? Haley, do you think you would Noted.
If I was taking orders from a dead man, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because a dead man wouldn't
I've
be as...
met your boss.
Yes, I have, and he's a huge busybody, and that's how I know.
But do you really know? Maybe he's been dead this entire time.
Oh, no. It's like, there's a thing that old men do where, like, their small talk
Colonialism.
is just, like... No, before that,
Sure.
no, that's like after brandy and cigars.
Okay.
Their small talk is their various health concerns. So, like,
Of course.
you always see it coming. You always see it coming with an old man.
We do know, though, that Barty Crouch Jr. is an extremely advanced method actor. So who knows? Maybe his
Right.
like mind control of his father was like perfect.
Like, it would have to be. But, like, also it would have been so much smarter and easier to be like, oh, no, Weatherby, I've had a heart attack. You're in charge of the office now. Like, anything. Any kind of other health concern.
Then you don't get the drama that magic brings, you know? Like it's,
You know what? You're so right.
sorry,
You are
that's
so
what I
right.
keep coming
That
back
would
to.
never have worked. In fact, I'm ashamed of myself for suggesting
if you could,
it.
there should be a character that's like very not showy with magic at all, very normal, and they would be the ones who take everything over. Like no one suspects them, just a regular guy comes through, wipes them all out. All right, I'm going to write my Harry Potter fanfic now about a normal dude.
Oh my gosh.
Named
with a
Zach.
gun.
Just went immediately to... You guys know that one just, like, throwaway extra in, I think it's the third movie, who, like, the camera just pans past him, and he's just, like, this hot, younger guy, like, reading Stephen Hawking and stirring
I know exactly
a
what you're
spoon
talking
about.
without touching
Yeah.
it or even holding a wand. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so this motherfucker's just reading physics books and
That's
doing
the
wandless
guy.
magic. Who the fuck are you?
That's the guy.
That's the guy!
Yeah. Yeah, that's a mood. I feel like I read that was someone. Hold on. The guy in the leaky call.
He's reading the book and he's stirring his tea with magic.
reading.
He was in the third film and the camera went past him for a moment and he was really hot.
And he was really
That's
sexy.
right.
He is.
And gothic.
he is.
Really smacks
He
him.
is a musician. He's a musician.
Oh.
But I-
He only gets
Is
hotter.
he like a wizard musician who plays wizard
from-
music? Or
No, he's from the Stone Roses,
Oh, okay.
an English rock
Yeah.
band.
Huh. All right.
I guess I just read enough fucking Harry Potter trivia that I even absorb trivia that's not that good, and I
Well,
don't really
listen,
understand.
Days.
the fact that you could type that into Google and it comes up is just like is incredible.
What a time to be
We've
alive.
gone too far.
You can Google anything about Harry Potter, and sometimes it's extremely annoying because you'll Google something like Vila, which is like an animal in Harry Potter that also exists in mythology, and your only search results that come back are Harry Potter, and you're like, anything but
Anything
Harry Potter.
but. That's why I came on this
And I
podcast.
think there's a way to do that in Google. I think there's a way to be like minus Harry Potter, but I never remember how to do it.
You sort of can't have that if you host a Harry Potter podcast, though.
I just put
Exactly.
my
That's
turf
true.
filter on, and then it all disappears.
How's the algo on that?
There's not a lot of content.
We learn Percy like disowned his whole family and moved to London, and Molly
It's a wreck.
Weasley went to try to speak
Oh,
with him. And
devastating.
he slammed the door in her
Oh.
face. Like, I would punch him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
I'm going to
Was
throw
he-
him the
Devastating.
double middle finger.
Is he like 18, 19,
19.
at this stage?
Too young.
Yes.
Oh, he's
yes.
still, yeah, like he's still super young. I feel like I
It's the
could have done
90s.
that.
It was this was the 90s, and
Sure.
like also, like not to be aggressively American here, but like if you live in the UK and you're running away from home, and like I'm going away to London,
Yeah.
like okay, so a 20-minute
Oh,
drive,
Yeah,
totally.
like
Yeah, and
for
Australia, right?
like it,
Like our closest city is like, I don't know, a 12-hour drive away from us.
yeah, no, like that's
my
like
God.
in America, if you want to run away from something, you can run
Yeah.
away from something.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you've got the
Like,
distance
UK,
and the
That's not a
population.
big island.
We don't have the population,
Yeah.
so you can't really disappear. But you can put a lot of distance.
Oh, interesting.
But like at least you have the distance.
Yes.
Yeah. And so many places where you could die.
I'm just thinking about how I could possibly run away.
Sorry, I just got sidetracked imagining leaving my whole life behind.
Just imagining slamming the door in my mum's face and saying, I'm going. And she's like, you already don't live here. Like, don't. That's fine. Just don't slam my doors. I'm working for the government. I've got a promotion. It's really good.
Ugh. Never forsake your family for the government? Are you joking?
The government's my real family. They really take care of me.
That's the goal of the state, right? Is to replace the nuclear,
Replace the family. Yeah.
Replace the family.
That's
Oh
right.
my God.
So you guys have that too, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They hate traditional values.
That's right. Our prime minister.
Yeah.
Prime minister
Yeah,
is
they're horrible.
Yeah,
our new
it's fucking horrible.
our new prime minister is currently on a breastfeeding tour where it goes to all the new children that he has and lets them suckle a little bit. Yeah.
So for the listeners, that's a taste of what we get in Fangfiction.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So kooky. I got to visit on
Yeah. Yeah. Our prime minister is really great. He's got a lot of really new, interesting policies about replacing my mum. Mm-hmm. All right.
Hermione is talking about the Daily Prophet, right?
Yeah, I love how everyone just like leaves Hermione to do this
Yeah.
job, right?
Hermione takes 100% of the emotional labor of not only these two boys, but also like many of their peers at
Yeah.
school as well. You know what I mean? She does a lot all the time.
And gets nothing back.
Hogwarts needs a therapist. It's just Hermione.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this book, she starts being like, hey, your behavior is like coming across like X, and like I would like it if you did like this instead. Like, she starts doing that a lot, and it's like, you're the only one with any decor here.
The fuck are the Grangers? Like,
Yes.
clearly,
I know.
clearly they need to write a book on like
Right.
child rearing.
We feel so. He
Yeah.
always hears
Yeah.
so little about them.
Their daughter's wonderful.
JK was like, no, there's muggles.
They're muggles. Why would we spend time with
No,
muggles?
don't
They're
waste my time.
dentists. There you go.
Dentists.
There's their profession. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, they are dentists. The Daily Prophet has been like not reporting on anything that matters, but like slipping Harry in as a little bit of a joke. Like, oh, that is a tall tale worthy of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of Meghan Markling. I don't know if that reference tracks for American.
Like
Oh,
no,
my
it
God.
kind of does because like we
Whoa.
also saw a lot of it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like there is one thing that is consistently done really, really well throughout like this series specifically, where like the wizarding world, part of the reason that it's so nonsensical is that it's definitely lampooning like
Yes.
British
Yep.
society.
Yeah. And I will say that's probably JKR's big strength as a writer. She's very good at
like
that.
it's really clever the way that it's done in this series because like this is I was following the recent political like upheaval in the UK with like the prime minister and like all of the nonsense going on. There was just like someone I already follow is really good at explaining it. So was like going over just like describing what the media is like over there and this all sounds pretty consistent with that.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Everything I know about the British media comes from the Harry Potter series and the book Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is about the son of the president of the United States falling in love with the Prince of England.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Great book.
It's a great book.
Which prince? Because that's gonna there's potential problems there.
It is a everyone in this book is made up. There's
my
a
God.
woman, Latina president
Whoa.
of the United States. It's
Okay.
a miracle.
Okay.
So Mrs. Weasley comes and tells them it's time for dinner. And then she's like, who's been throwing them dung bombs? And Ginny's like, oh, it was Crookshanks.
Said Ginny
Classic.
unblushingly. She's like, I have no qualms
love
whatsoever
it.
about lying
What-
to my mother. None.
Yeah.
What a choice for a character. Like, what
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love
it.
like 2 lines down, like Mrs. Weasley is just like, oh, and like gives them some other directions, and then like the last thing she says before leaving the room, Ginny, your hands are filthy. What have you been doing? Go wash them before dinner.
And they just like
You're
reek of
disgusting,
shit.
daughter.
Golly.
Question.
Go on.
Question: Is this joke saying that Ginny has dung on her hands from the dung bomb?
Yeah, no, I was wondering about like what the
Does she
construction
have
of a
poop on
dung
her
bomb
hands?
True.
is.
A dung bomb is just a little
Is it poop?
bit of shit
It's just shit.
that she's just been chucking around the house. It's just like looks like just shit.
It's Fred and George make their own eventually, and it's super cheap to produce, a high markup, and it just
The only problem is that like it's basically like poop gas, and
Yeah.
everyone gets pink eye. Like it's just an epidemic in Hogwarts.
Ginny's just like swanned into the room, being like, "Oh, hey Harry, like what's up?"
just
Covered in
covered in shit.
This is her move now. This is her
Yeah.
move, and you know what? It fucking works.
And Harry's like, "I don't fucking mind this."
True. Harry's like, something new has awakened in me. This is fantastic. Yeah. She's really coming into her own, Ginny.
I just picture Hermione and Ginny having a conversation like, no. If you want to attract a boy at this age,
Yeah.
what you have to understand is that they're disgusting and stupid.
right.
So you have to be
More
a little
disgusting and
gross.
stupid.
Like, just let yourself be
Yeah.
a little gross.
Fling
like,
shit at the
emulate
door.
Fred and George.
Yeah.
Fling shit at the doors.
HarryPotter.fandom.com, which is our number one resource for all things Harry Potter. It just says dung bombs are a magical stink bomb that gave off a putrid odor, and dung bombs left a person's hands dirty. So
Okay.
like, they also definitely avoid
It's
the
just
issue.
it's just shit. Like it's like we need magical
It's just
terms
a
for
handful
everything.
of shit.
Yeah.
A little packet of shit.
Yeah.
Wow, with just like a little bit of like a firecracker in it or something.
That's right. It's like butter beer is just piss. That's it.
Whatever. Molly mentions Creature. She's like, I thought Creature might have done that. So then after everyone leaves, Harry's like, talk about anything. Talk about anything normal. Who's Creature? We learn that he's a house elf. Ron calls him a nutter. We get to talk about
Yeah.
Spew again.
Right.
Love that.
And Hermione drops some foreshadowing on us. It's not just me. Dumbledore says we should be kind to Creature, too.
Oh.
Wink, wink, wink.
That's not going to be relevant again later.
Author's note, this is important.
Author's note, you got to pay attention to this.
Don't flame me if it doesn't make sense straight away.
Shout out to Raven. Where's my fucking sweater, bitch?
The sweater.
Sweater.
Fucking sweater. Must have been a damn good
I
sweater
know.
to break a friendship.
Some sweaters are
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
In those years,
I just bought a really good sweater, and Haley, we were too high the other day. I wore it next to you, but I forgot to say, look
Oh,
at me,
no.
sweater.
And then Haley
I
stole
need to show
it.
you, though.
I think I did notice it. It looked very comfy.
She did.
Thank God.
Two things I always notice: lamps and sweaters.
I don't recognize faces, though. Like, people don't mean anything to me.
I'm actually horrible
Yeah.
about them. I'm like haircuts. I'll be like, oh, like 3 days later, like, oh, did you brush your hair differently
Wow.
or something? No, I got a whole foot cut off. But
Thank you so
for
much.
noticing.
Did you wash? You're no longer covered in dung bombs.
Yeah, presumably Ginny washes her hands. They're going down to see if they can eavesdrop because, like, all of the people who are in the meeting are coming out of the meeting. The twins are doing the extendable ears thing, but everyone leaves. It doesn't matter. They're going down to dinner. Silent in the hall. Wait. Tonks knocks over the umbrella stand.
Uh-oh.
What's going on? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, we chunked for a minute there.
I kind of forget you guys are in the same room.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I've been
Lucy's-
trying to forget.
Yeah. Lucy's covered in shit. I'm just gonna keep that
This whole
going.
time, or just since we've been talking?
Like the whole time. The whole time.
It's how I keep Zach awake while we're recording.
Yeah. It's really cool. We have a really good relationship.
Sounds like.
Tonks knocks over the umbrella stand. It makes a loud noise, and then like the curtains start opening all down the hallway. There's one right next to Harry, and it reveals a
Oh my God.
portrait of a woman who is screaming a lot of really rude things and looking like a dead ghost person.
Oh, wow. Is it a dead ghost person?
She looks
she's
scary.
like drooling and her eyes are rolling, the yellowing skin of her face stretched
Awful.
taut as she screams.
I love that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I hate it.
it's a great image.
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
Horrible.
The sound of her screaming wakes up all the other portraits down the hall,
They all
Perfect.
start screaming.
and everyone's just screaming.
Ah! I
And everybody's
existence.
yelling at Tonks, and Tonks is yelling about being sorry, and then they're yelling at Tonks for yelling, and then she's yelling at them for yelling at her.
Yeah,
And they're trying to get the curtains closed, and they can't.
that's the.
And then they just pick up the umbrella stand and leave it there to kick over again next time.
Yeah, she already tripped over it twice. Like, obviously
fucking
you
get
move it
rid
at
of
that
it.
point.
Nope. We're British. We're not going to.
No.
The severed troll like umbrella stand. I get it rains a lot in Britain, but like, do you need it really?
Nope, we're not going to address it at all.
No.
We're just. That's where it goes, and therefore it goes there.
But again, it's magic, okay?
Yeah.
Like if we can't trigger the screaming portraits, what's the point of having all these screaming portraits in my hallway?
Exactly
You know?
right.
That's the only reason why I invited Tonks over. So to kick over the elephant umbrella stand.
This would be like so scary. I think to be in the middle of this and then just suddenly people around you are
Just-
screaming.
Yeah.
In a real life application, I would not be really.
No.
Yeah, I'd be
with
like,
this.
yeah, see you later. I am going anywhere else.
Like, I understand, like, the drama factor, I know, but, like, couldn't someone have given Harry just, like, haunted portraits? Just keep your phone. It's haunted
No.
portraits, and that's why.
It's agony.
Just anything.
How many times it's like, just fucking give Harry the information he needs.
Just even
Yeah.
one small morsel of information.
just
please,
like
to
two
tide him
words.
over until dinner.
Any, like, needs. It's like. I picture the poor editor. It's like, clarify.
Yeah.
Clarify.
And JK's like, no, I won't. I
Jake is
shan't.
like, I think I might just adjust my contract so I don't have to read this.
Haley, you say just clarify. I say please clarify.
Clarify.
Oh, no, I'll just say clarify.
Just put a couple of just question marks.
I get brusquer and brusquer as I go on.
No, I like to start off brusque so that when I'm nice, like they feel like I'm doing something for
Sure.
them.
Oh my god, this line is amazing.
Wow. Maybe you are competent.
Haunted portraits. This is really giving like Haunted Mansion.
Mm,
Yeah,
they're really
But
going
like
for
fascist.
like with like
Right,
snake
yes.
themes.
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
very conspicuous. Yeah.
Yeah, like just haunted house.
Which-
And then we're going to leave Sirius Black alone in this house indefinitely.
Without the internet. Without, I presume, a television.
Thank goodness I got out of prison.
Go back to Azkaban. They
Yeah.
did better there.
The food was better.
Go back to living in a cave and eating rats. Like,
Well, he doesn't at the very least get to like chill with Molly a lot of the
Yes,
time.
that's-
No.
So there is
Yeah.
that.
and she's probably the best company in the wizarding world.
But they don't like each other.
I mean, they don't like each other, but she still feeds people.
Yeah.
Like she just
does feed
makes
people,
food
yeah.
and it's just kind of lying
Yeah, you're
around,
right
and she's
about
not going to get mad if he takes it.
They're trying to close the curtains. They won't close. Whatever. Sirius and Lupin come and they're like, together we can close the curtain. And they close the curtain.
Oh, good. Wow.
And with the power of Sirius's just lifetime of
Hatred.
built up repressed
right.
rage,
Yeah,
screaming at his mother like he always
that's right.
would.
He's like, Harry, you think you know trauma? Watch me close this curtain.
Yeah, so they managed to shut her up, and then Sirius goes, "Hello, Harry. I see you've met my mother."
Oh,
That's a great ending line.
boom.
It is
Oh.
pretty good, especially since she is a haunted portrait. Like, you don't expect it, but there it is.
There it is.
Yep.
So good. Wow, that serious guy's really cool. I hope he sticks around.
Yeah, no, he has a great arc.
I'm so looking forward to when he adopts his godson.
Oh, so good.
Harry never has to go back to Privet Drive.
Oh, that's such a good idea because Harry was really upset about that. So it makes sense that he would now stay with Sirius at 12 Grimmauld Place. Like that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can't wait to read the rest of the series.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so
It's gonna
idyllic,
work out
guys.
great.
Like so
know.
many family vibes. Just so much support,
I love it.
so much parental
Just like
support.
a montage of Sirius and Harry cleaning the house up, sprucing it all up, settling into their
Yeah.
new lives.
Yeah.
That must be the rest of the 800 pages.
healing each other as they heal themselves.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So fucking long. This
Wow.
book is so fucking long, and
It's
we
so long.
are on page like whatever 80, and
Wow.
like we could have just started here. I just it's so these books go so oh my god, we're recording so late that my little birth control alarm's going off.
Quick! Stop the baby.
So does anyone have any final thoughts about the chapter, or any like things you want to like circle back to because they were extra good, or anything? Any last words?
There is one little moment when Harry's screaming at Ron and Hermione, and like there's an empty picture frame, and you can hear giggling coming out of it, and it's like Phineas Nigellus is like eavesdropping out of sight and like laughing at them.
What an
A
asshole.
wonderful
Wow.
detail. I love Phineas Nigellus so much,
Yeah.
and like I totally missed that on this read. So thank you for pointing it out because that's
so
hilarious. He's like, punk bitch, come on.
It's just such a good chapter. It's such an integral part of the story.
So much happens. It's so important.
I like the bit where Harry yells in all caps for multiple pages. That reminds me of me trying to write when I was 15.
Yes.
No, the character's
much.
really angry now. Exclamation marks.
I have a lot of angst.
Harry does a lot of all caps in this one, so just get ready, buckle up for the all caps train.
Angst.
Angst,
Angst.
angst, angst,
Angst.
Are y'all ready to wrap up and move on to some plugs?
Yeah, I reckon.
Perfect.
Let's
That
do
sounds
it.
great.
Lucy and or Zach, can you just remind people where they can find your podcast
Yeah.
on the internet?
So our Fangfiction is on all the podcast platforms. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, although our Twitter account has never been touched at Fangfiction Pod.
I don't recommend Twitter. It's really
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I deactivated it a long time ago and never looked back.
Nice. Good for you.
Good for you. It's a real
Our
Ginny era.
podcast would be a lot more successful if I wasn't quite so allergic to social media, but
Yeah, we would be famous.
we'd be like very famous.
So can I assume you don't want to share your own socials, Lucy?
No, you can follow Lucy Hagen _writes. I don't post very much, but you're welcome to follow it. And I have a Substack
What is that?
if you want to
What
read
is
some of my
that?
writing. It's like email newsletters. LucyHagen.substack.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Lucy, what's something that you've been reading or I was going to say writing. I mean, you can if you want to. Reading
I'm
or
not gonna plug my own
playing
writing.
or watching or listening to or talking about. Like, what's something you think that the listeners of our podcast would enjoy?
I just finished reading. I was a bit late to the party with this, but I just finished reading the webtoon Lore Olympus. That's like
Woo!
this beautiful feminist retelling of like the Hades and Persephone myth. And it's free on the app
It's amazing.
webtoon, and it's fucking great.
It's extremely good. And you can buy books of the first.
Yes.
There's two
Definitely
books.
the first
I don't
one. I
remember
think
how
the
many.
second one is now available as a book as well.
Wow. Amazing. Zach, do you want people to find you on the internet?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks so much. I don't use my name, so I've actively stopped people from finding me. But I'm H_NE on Instagram. I have a WordPress, which is h-ne.com. Nothing to do with my name, so very complicated to find. But do
Well,
it.
it's linked in the show notes.
Yeah, perfect.
What's something that you've been watching, playing, reading, listening to lately that you think the listeners of our pod would enjoy?
Oh, amazing. I've finally been reading the Sandman comic series. It's like I shouldn't even plug it.
Oh.
It's so famous and big. But everyone should read Sandman. It's wonderful. The Netflix series just came out and apparently it's great. Very different style, but if you're into like horror dystopia with like socio-political undertones, Tender as the Flesh is a really good book that I've been reading by Agostina Basterica. Super horrific, but so interesting at the same time, just like Harry Potter.
We are very much playing to type with this that I was like, romance.
Yeah.
And Zach's like, horror.
Would you like underground comics and gore? Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Haley, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet, if you must, at the Writ to Wit on Twitter, and I will continue the trend of extremely on-brand plugs and plug tarot for writers.
Nice.
I've been fucking around with tarot cards, and this is a really excellent guide where you basically use them for like doing writing prompts or developing a story, because every card is like a little scene, essentially. So it's really useful for that, and it also can, if you are interested in like actually doing tarot for tarot, it's a great resource for learning more about all of the symbolism and everything.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, that's really cool. I've been your host, Christina. You know where to find me. And this week I'm going to plug a book I read recently called Wine Girl. And I'm going to carry on the trend of extremely on-brand plugs.
Amazing.
The book is called Wine Girl by Victoria James. She is America's youngest sommelier, or at least she was when she wrote this book. It's just her memoir of how it was just this like fuckboy kid who learned to just like really love wine. It's just cool, and I learned a lot about wine. So check that out, Wine Girl by Victoria James. That's the end of our episode. Lucy, Zach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. This has been a blast.
I'm so glad you feel the same way. Yeah, I feel like I've met some kindred spirits. I laughed a lot on this episode, and it's going to be a good one. So
You're welcome, everybody.
I really appreciate your time and energy.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate yours.
And Haley, as always, thank you so much for being my co-conspirator.
Always a pleasure.
Before we go, I'd like to say a few words. Pronk, firkin, impignorate, palaver. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Drink some water.
Bye.
That's it, potheads. Thanks for listening to the Restricted Section. This podcast is produced and hosted by me, Christina Kahn. Our theme music was produced by Ryan Kahn. Our logo was designed by Michael Hardison. Please connect with us on Twitter at RestrictedPod, on Instagram at RestrictedSectionPod, on Facebook at RestrictedSectionPod, or in our Facebook group, the Restricted Section Detention Crew. Join our Patreon to get access to our Discord server, our bonus episodes, and other cool perks. We're also very happy to be a member of Deus Ex Media, where all you fucking nerds can find all kinds of fandom podcasts to suit your fancy.
What would you do if there was a terrifying prophecy about you?
Or you had to go on a perilous quest to save a friend.
Or everything you loved was in danger, and the world was about to end?
Whoa, slow down, Charlie. You know what to do when all that crazy stuff happens, right?
Call Ghostbusters?
No, you listen to Of the Eldest Gods.
Right. Sorry, Ray. Y'all can listen to our podcast about the Rick Riordan books.
We'll cover each chapter and talk about some of the fucked up mythological context.
And we'll probably get cursed by Zeus.
Let's hope that doesn't happen this season.
Catch Oteg on all your podcast platforms.
And eat some blue food while you listen.
Wish us luck while we survive the apocalypse.
Charlie.
What?
I opened up my book to the wrong chapter and I started reading, and I was like, if you skip this chapter, it still makes sense.
Deus Ex Media.